conference will now be recorded.
Would everyone please rise for the pledge and invocation?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, we want to thank you for all the many blessed things that you have given us. Oh Lord, we still pray for peace throughout the United States and throughout the world. Be with the people, our soldiers who have their own heart and soul. Be with them, guide them, and bring them back home safely. Oh Lord, as we go into our meeting tonight, please guide us in a godly manner that we make the right decisions, not only for the town, but also the town's people. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Looks like on the council president. So first item on the agenda is review of approval of February 9th and 23rd, which is our workshop minute. Let's do them one at a time. Let's just do the regular meeting for February 9th first. Do we have any corrections or additions?
I gave Kim a couple of typos I caught, but other than that.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept February 9th minutes? That's corrected.
I'll make the motion to accept the regular meeting February 9th minutes.
And I'll second.
Here we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries. Workshop minutes for Monday, February 23rd. Do I have any corrections or?
I gave her a couple typos, but other than that, I will make a motion to approve the workshop minutes from February 23rd.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the workshop minutes for February 23rd. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstained, motion carries. Treasurer's report.
Okay, so at the end of February, the general fund had an ending balance of $2,652,557.05. We collected $43,097.56 in real estate tax payments. We also received from Antietam and Comcast some franchise fees of $7,990.16. We've received $143,789.84 for local tax distributions. We paid CPJ Associates $1,446 for Campus Avenue Project Engineering Services, and we paid Aero Consulting $654.25 for MS4 services, and also $418 for GIS services, and $9,268.50 for the comprehensive plan update. We also earned interest for the month of $6,147.24. The restricted funds had an ending balance of $325,307.82. And we did transfer the $200,000 from the general fund into the restricted fund, as we discussed at the last meeting, so that money is available for the Phase 6 project. Only other action for the month was the interest earned of $440.63. There's still a check in the payroll account that
That
hasn't
would be more.
Okay, so we'll get that cleared and zeroed out. First United Bank, our new account at the bank with our reserve, has a balance of $3,274,189.40. And the only activity for the month was interest earned of $10,274.68. Our certificates of deposit had an ending balance of $59,066.83. The only CD that we're holding right now is the Schaefer Park CD totaling $59,066.83. And that account also earned interest for the month of $201.21. Water fund had an ending balance of $484,685.29. We received $85,621.76 in water, sewer, and sanitation collections. Of that amount, The water collections was $30,468.41. The sewer collections was $46,324.48, and the sanitation collections was $8,828.87. We also paid WRA $7,136.61 for the Crestview Bypass project, and we had interest earned of $1,223.76. The water fund restricted account had an ending balance of $1,462,067.62. The only thing the account saw that month was interest earned of $1,501.38. The American Rescue Plan account funds had an ending balance of $844,842.42. We did pay Aero Consulting $21,822 for continuing project reservoir replacement. And we also earned interest in the month of $2,017.68. Sewer fund had an ending balance of $229,674.70. We did pay Wiltec for services of $4,229, and we also earned interest for the month of $709.51. The sewer fund restricted account had an ending balance of $378,430.52, and the only activity in the month was interest of $646.27. And all of the paperwork has been signed and executed to get these new accounts with the rates that we talked about. JP and I talked about it earlier today when I got a phone call from the bank. I guess it's going to happen sometime in the next 10 or 15 days. So other than that, we'll start getting the interest of 3.03% in those other accounts very soon. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Anybody have any questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. Public comments. We have one person signed up. Please come forward, introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mayor. For the record, my name is Cranston Carter. I hope I'm in the middle name, which is Carter. So if you get an email from Comcast email that says Cranston, it's me. I just began a role a little over a month in as the government affairs manager for Western Maryland. I'm solely focused on local governments. I am deeply rooted in Western Maryland. I grew up in Cumberland. I did work for about 5 years in the previous administration in the General Assembly in Annapolis. I'm thrilled to be back here advocating for this end of the state. So I'm still waiting on some business cards. I also have to make sure I get my contact info to you all. But really, I just wanted to introduce myself and make sure that you all know you have a liaison between Comcast and local governments, which is all my focus is. So I'm happy to be here and looking forward to working with you. However,
Thank you. Excellent.
Thank
Once you
you.
get your card, drop them off to town hall. They several of course, and we'll see if we get them.
Yes, sir. Will do.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Anybody else sign up? Okay. Move it on. Public Works Superintendent Craig.
I'll start with the public works side of it. Custom landscaping finished grinding up the grass pile out at the north site. Took them about 5 days to finish. It was a total of about 200,000 cubic yards of debris. It was 507 dump truck loads the guys picked up. And 39 Mondays is what it was. I kept track of it this year. I just want to see how much it was. They were averaging 13 dump truck loads every single Monday with debris. The worst part was we took 13 55-gallon trash bags of trash from there, and most of it went through the grinders. We were picking it up out of the mulch that was already grinded.
Was packed into the bags?
Yeah, just flower pots, water bottles, you name it. They put it down in bags that curled up in grass. You can't see it.
Yeah.
It just gets buried inside there, unfortunately. I mean, years ago, they had a rock over. Mary Lee probably knows that. I mean, we had to pay for that. So
Yeah.
you just gotta be very careful. That's not counting what people throw out. That's just what the public works guys picked up off the side of the street. So the development's just gonna keep getting bigger and bigger. Hopefully it don't go into like a 2-day pickup.
Right.
I first started here, it was 5 days. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep. Yeah.
We picked up 5 days a week.
Yep.
So, and then we'll be down in the park for the next 30 days. We'll have MEDs. Let's get the park ready for April when it opens, trying to get everything fireworks and cleaned up. Then on the water and sewer side, everything's been quiet. We've been still fixing little small leaks in the water meters that we've been finding with the leak detectors that we bought. They're just cracking the meters, fixing the bottom of them, get them back together. We're moving them around every 2 days. Every two days a week is what we're moving them, like Mondays and Thursdays. We leave them there for a little bit, let them listen, find something, fix it. Move on to the next street. Other than that, everything else is good.
Good. Anybody have any questions of Greg? Before we move on, when's bulk pickup this year?
May 16th.
May 16th. And that's curbside, right?
Yes, that's curbside.
Thank you.
Just,
Uh,
well, can I ask a
sure.
question? Are other towns still picking up bags, or do we have?
We're the only town
Business
that,
be coming, I know you're not gonna be open down there, and other, I mean, do we?
we're the only town that picks up bags. That's why when I said about, that with Rachel about closing it.
Yeah.
Like Brunswick brings in dumpsters twice a year for people to put it in. Middletown uses a trash company to pick them up. Smithsburg don't do it. Williamsport don't do it.
Okay.
We're the only town that actually built that. We built that because we used to run the Washington County landfill and back. That's like a 45-minute ride up and back every single
I
time.
just didn't know if there was, if we should start to, think through alternatives if it's becoming too out of hand.
I can get you a price of what it costs us to do that. You figure 2 employees, fuel in the dump truck, it's probably
I mean,
something.
it's a wonderful service to have, otherwise people are gonna have it out in a yard somewhere.
Most of the time,
Set
Washington
something on fire and then something else happens that they're not gonna.
Washington County landfill takes it for free most of the time. You only have to pay to take it up there.
You don't have to have a permit though?
You have to have a permit, yeah.
Yeah, but see, most of the town
Yeah.
residents don't
That's
have
not
one.
free.
Yeah, so yeah, that's not free, yeah.
Yeah, if you got your permit, that's what you're paying at one time of a year, but
All right, I'm just
So
curious.
it's supposed to $10,
I don't know what it is.
Oh, stuff there's $10.
so $10,
What is,
$10.
for a load, you're putting.
No. For your permit, $10 for your permit.
I think go straight up and dump it. I don't know if you have to have a permit or not
For the residents,
for that.
Residents.
Yeah. As long as you're a county resident, I don't think you need a permit.
we've got away from
Dump
that.
the brush.
Yeah, we couldn't keep up with it. We couldn't do the whole town. We were 5 days. It would take us, we would do it for 5 days, Monday, because we were running back and forth. You figure 13, you can't make it to Williamsport and back 13 times. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So that's why we went from Monday to Friday we were doing it. Then we switched it back to building this mulch site, we knocked it down in 1 day.
Your trash hauler will take yard waste. J&J,
J&J.
Yard waste,
Yeah, well,
I know they do it,
They
I know they do it across the mountain.
quote unquote, do they take it like a separate day and it goes somewhere else, or if?
They take it to Frederick County landfill because it's yard waste, there's no charge. The only thing that the town paid was a unit charge to the hauling company to haul it. The big difference was that changed the whole dynamics is where Greg and the guys will load up the back of the trailer and have all this. They have that crushing machine. They usually can go through the whole town and just crush the grass into nothing. Then they take it and dump it. I don't know if Washington County would allow you all to do that, but it would certainly free up a lot of time.
That's what I'm
for
just
public
wondering,
works.
if we need to start to explore other options.
That's why, that's why Middletown did it at the time, was because they didn't want to hire more staff, but they didn't want to get rid of the service either. So, I mean, I'm just telling, J&J does do it, so it's something you could certainly talk to them about if you want to look into it further.
Greg, could we cut down the days that we do it, like maybe twice a month instead of 4 times a month? Would it, I mean, how much are the guys picking up on a regular pickup?
13 loads is what they're averaging every single Monday.
every Monday.
Wow.
It's around 30, sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes, some days we go into Tuesday.
Yeah, if there's a storm or something, I'm sure it's worse.
We'll call Kim and be like, hey, if somebody calls in, we didn't
I don't
make
know,
it.
if you start every other month, people
Yeah,
aren't gonna
yeah,
know what
yeah, every
week,
other
and then they're
week.
gonna have some
They'll be
guys,
setting out,
that'll be
rain,
worse,
and
yeah.
it'll be worse.
What I'll do is I'll just get you a price so you can compare it with J&J will charge. I'll give you a price of what it costs for 2 guys, 39
Well, I'm
Mondays.
just, you know what I mean, if, like you said, if that would free up our time, make it possible. What if we even just had J&J take it, crush it, and dump it on our thing once a week? I don't know.
Mike charges the same every year, 7,500 to 8 grand, all the time, every year.
Okay, yeah, we'll figure out what price range, and then we'll check with J&J and see what they have to offer. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Pete, water and sewer.
Let's start with the water. Water's easy one to do. There's really no problems. Everything's running pretty smooth on the water side. Sewer side, we do have a couple pump situations what we're dealing with right now. Still dealing with the Young Avenue pump situation. Got the plumbers and the pump people trying to figure out a solution. The old pump was outdated, so you can't use it anymore, and it takes a total different hookup. So now we have to kind of do like what we did on Route 34. Have to change some piping and the stand and stuff in there. This here's a lot simpler, a lot more, be a lot less work compared to Route 34 pump station, because they use Schedule 80 pipe instead of metal pipe in there and all that. We do have the problem there too, also at Young Avenue with the backflow preventers. Found out today that they're both bad too. So for that Young Avenue, they're gonna have them replaced at the same time we put the pump in. They'll do it all at the same time. Then we got a pump at the sewer plant, and the intermediate pump, where all the waste comes into the plant and transfers it from the wet well of the influent building over to the SBRs. Pump number 3 has started to fail. So we pulled it today, and we're gonna have the pump people come tomorrow, pick it up and take a look at it and see what's going on. Other than that, the rest of everything else is running good and smooth.
Thank you.
Did you do okay with all the rain, like no iron?
They had a little bit of problems out there. Pump 3 was the one that gave them some problems. We got some water in the filter room again. But Jesse called it in time and was able to get the other pumps turned on and get it pumped down so we didn't have any problems. But just like we had a little bit of INI again, coming in there. But other than that,
Yeah, I mean, we got.
flows weren't too bad.
Snow melting.
We didn't get over 600 and something. We stayed under 700,000 for the day, which is pretty good for being wet like that. So.
By the way, welcome back. Hope you had a good vacation.
Yep.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions of Pete? Hearing none, town manager, Rachel.
Our new municipal service worker will begin with Public Works on March 16th, a week from today. DGS, the Department of General Services, reached out to me. When we repaired the rear wall at the Cutiesville Spring House back in 2020, Paul had gotten grant funding from DGS to do that repair, and now 5 years later from when we actually got the funding, they're finding that documents were missing. So actually I'm spending a lot of time to be providing that back to them to make sure that we don't have to pay it back or anything. The EPA is going to do a site visit at the reservoir on March 18th to continue the process for our pending but hopeful funding award for the reservoir project. I've had to keep giving them documents, so it is still kind of moving along, but still no grant agreement to guarantee we're getting the money. I had submitted an application almost a year ago for ARC funding to address INI, and they're finally reviewing the application, and since we didn't do a preliminary engineering report, they might require us to do that before the funding can be approved, which is interesting because this is the 3rd phase of INI, and we didn't have a PER for either of the first 2 phases. So I'm not sure if we're gonna get that or not, but it's working. And then we have 2 anniversaries this month. Ryan in Public Works is 11 years, and Mike in Water and Sewer is 2 years. That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody have any questions of Rachel?
I just have one, are we gonna get that meeting together with the disc golf people anytime in the near future?
They haven't contacted me since I reached out to them and told them that they needed to come here and have a joint meeting with the park board and the council to approve whatever their revised plan was going to be. I haven't heard anything.
Neither has the park board.
Maybe we'll start pulling them out, Ray.
I saw all the stone and mulch out of the way. There was right from the spin clouds. So
That'll get somebody's attention.
I told him, I said, you come down here and get it. I'm moving it out of the way for you. He didn't come down and get it. It was in the way and stuff right in the woods.
Rachel, how's it going with Dillo starting with the shed and the house coming down?
Today was the deadline for the McElwees to be completely out of the house, so Drew was working with Potomac Edison today. We need to disconnect the power from the house before we can demo it, but he still needs the power for his business. And so until we can get this new building up, it's just moving pieces that all need to align correctly.
Did you figure out who's gonna demo it yet?
We are,
We did, but I can't think of Wassler.
Wassler?
we are. I got a nice hammering hole. So Rachel, on your phase 3 of the I&I, if that comes through, that will be a 50-50 match,
We
right?
budgeted 250,000,
Yeah.
and that's what our application was recommended for, was the full 250. So then we would be able to do $500,000 worth of work.
Just wanted to confirm.
We budgeted in FY '26, but at the rate that we're going, I don't know if that's gonna happen in '26, so.
Any other questions? Thank you, ma'am. Drew, planners report?
Okay, active projects, you see, Heiss is, they put the tank in today for the fuel. They're moving right along. They've got the floor, all the plumbing's in and everything, and they've got it ready for concrete. I wouldn't be surprised if they pour the floor in tomorrow. So they're moving right along. Dean South, is moving along also. The model's up. They had signs out and balloons and all this stuff for an open house, but the model's not open, so I'm not sure what's going on there, guys, but model is close to being finished, but it's not finished, so I'm not really sure if there was a marketing snafu or something, but the model is not open. McDonald's has fulfilled all of their site plan requirements, so the ball's really in their court now between the developer, Jim Draper, and McDonald's with the land transfers, all that. We don't have anything to do with that. All that we do is we approve the site plan, so there will be a land transfer. It's going to happen because they've already sent out salt boring machines out there. You probably saw that out there. So that's going to be moving forward. As far as the reservoir, they're putting in all the equipment in the control building. The doors are on, the windows are on, the building is secure. They're putting all that instrumentation in. They will be starting on 34, starting in April. There's already construction stake out there. They'll be starting that, and in the interim, I'm getting pricing from 2 different people for replacement of the 4-inch line on Potomac Street. I'm asking for 2 prices. One, to take out the 4-inch section that's the problem. And 2, to what is the price that the BWC recommended, which was go from King Road where it's 12-inch and take it all the way to the intersection where it's 12-inch. So I'm asking for 2 rough prices. These are not bids. This is going to 2 contractors. One's going to be HRI because they're on site. The other one's going to be Mid-Atlantic, the person that did the thing. So I'm asking them for 2 prices. There's not really a design here. You're taking up the existing water line and you're putting in a new water line in its place. There really is no engineering that needs to be done. Again, we're just going to get into some questions of some timing, but the goal is to have those numbers to you all before next month so that you can start thinking, how do we want to do this? What do we want to do? Because you all are going to have to make decisions. Everybody and the BMUC and the mayor and council have already said the 4-inch section's got to go. That's not a question. But I know that everybody's also asking, why don't we do this? What is it to do it the right way?
Yeah.
So try and get those numbers for you as we speak. The comp plan is up on the website. It is the draft. I'm going to start sending that out this week to different agencies for review. The comprehensive plan is a document prepared by the Planning Commission that talks about growth for the next 20 years. It is in a draft form. It needs to go to different review agencies at the county, at the state, et cetera. Also, we're going to schedule a number of public hearings for residents to take their comments, et cetera. But it is up on the website. So I just want to let everybody know that there are some last minute critiques on some of the maps and legends that they're going to correct. But again, we wanted to get it out there. That's been a long time coming, a lot of effort put there. So if you have time, feel free to read it. We did it very differently than your old comp plan. It's just not lots of words. It's lots of pictures, lots of maps, lots of graphs, lots of visuals so that you can scan through the document the way people read today. People don't read technical manuals like that anymore. You know, they want to see exhibits, they want to see images, they want to see maps. It helps them process the information better. So very busy. I got a Board of Appeals case got filed for an in-home business, kind of a minor issue, but we've got to go through the Board of Appeals case for that. if you have an at-home business in the TR district, you can have a household business, but you have to get a special exception from the Board of Appeals, so that's filed. We are gonna have a Board of Appeals meeting, this month, an administrative, just sort of with the town attorney assistant. The paralegal's gonna come in, talk about Robert's Rules of Order, kind of the way we proceed with Board of Appeals hearing, why it's a quasi judicial, the procedures that need to be followed, because unlike a regular mayor and council meeting, a Board of Appeals meeting has very specific things that you are required to do by law, or the case gets thrown out. So we just wanted to give a refresher to everybody of what those things are, so that'll be happening this month. So I know there's a lot of other things going on. If I missed something, please feel free to ask.
I just have one question. BMUC meeting coming up this month. Are we gonna be getting anywhere with the water and the sewer capacity? Because
That will be the primary focus.
okay, because with everything coming into town, we're gonna need to have a buttoned-up little policy in place quickly.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Drew, when is the meeting that you mentioned with the BZA folks on the attorney?
Next Tuesday, I believe.
Whatever the regularly.
I think it's next Tuesday.
standing meeting.
17th sticks in my mind, but I don't have those numbers in front of me right at the moment.
So it is Tuesdays.
Am I allowed to sit in?
6:30.
Yeah, it's an open meeting. It's an open meeting.
What's the time?
7. All their meetings are at 7.
And back to something maybe for the pair of you, when we had the site visit at the reservoir from EPA, I talked to Rachel about maybe we could take the gentleman out to lunch or something like that. It always helps to kind of show their appreciation and that sort of thing. And this is not Ken Pantuck coming, this is another gentleman. Ken has been the one that myself and Rachel been in contact with. But I never talked to this particular gentleman. So anyway, I'm planning on going to the site visit. I think it's maybe the same day or something. Just anyway.
It's the 18th, isn't it?
The day after.
Yeah, the day after. It's one's the 17th, one's the 18th. And WRA, HRI, they may be up there working the day of the site visit or
Because I have to make sure that he's there.
somebody's there. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions of Drew? Thank you, sir. Oh, Sergeant?
You guys have the monthly report. There was 127 calls for service. We made 79 traffic stops and issued 108 warnings or citations. 3 parking citations, 957 patrol checks, and traffic enforcement performed. 1 adult criminal arrest, 3 adult criminal summons service arrests, and 1 adult traffic arrest. We had it must have been mental health month. We dealt with several this past month. Took 1 to the hospital, got 1 back to their residence in Sharpsburg. Handled an employee theft at Il Forno Pizza. A employee was stealing out of the pocketbook of another employee. Towed a couple cars on Main Street, North Main Street, right out here. Lieutenant Rogers had 1 blocking an alley, made several attempts to get a hold of the owner, and ended up towing it. Me and the chief were on board when they were removing all the snow. We towed 1 from down the road here that the lady goes to Florida for the winter. And they've been there for a while. Jim's Sword has handled 2 theft cases at Ace Hardware. Most of the time they're stealing like leaf blower type things, taking them, pawning them in Frederick. He has made 1 arrest for 1 of the cases. The other is open, but it's going along good. I had a couple bus pier traffic violation arrests, and Sword and I arrested a guy on South Main on last week. Anything else?
You're in town, Terry. Bad in town.
Yeah.
That must be the bad end.
Anybody have any questions?
How in the world did it get a leaf blower out of Ace when we got a cash?
Bad check was one of them. One of them was a bad check.
Oh,
I think both of them was a bad check and a bad credit card.
Oh.
So that's how it's happened.
With that, I'm like, it's kind of hard to walk out the door.
Well, it's happened before.
They did that last year. They happened right out the back door with the battery power, was $2,800.
Came back and took it again.
No problem.
Came back and took the same one.
Yeah, the second time.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, sir. Mayor and council correspondence. We did get a very nice thank you note from the We the People, along with the picture. I'll pass it around to everybody to see for a donation to help them compete in the national We the People. Very nice. And we all be really proud of our high school kids in that they seem to do exceptionally well. They either win it or come in second every year in the nationals, not just local, but the nationals. So, anybody else have anything?
I paid for MML on Monday, the 23rd, and now Mr. Cochran scheduled an auction, so if anybody wants to take my free meal at the tavern, say so, because you got one.
I think everyone else that's going has already paid.
Paid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was paid last time.
So we paid.
because this is the
Yeah,
one
I
from
paid,
January.
yeah, January, it got rained out, and then I was good, but we scheduled it on.
What interest rate am I getting on that?
It's really low.
Anybody else have anything? Correspondence? Okay. Moving on, new business, bid award for construction management and inspection, J6 Boulevard.
We received 2 bids, one, or both of them were from companies that we've worked with recently and had, very good results with. One was Arrow, who's currently doing the construction management and inspection for the reservoir. The other was CPJ. They wrote the specs for the J6 project. They both were responsive bids. CPJ was the lower bid, but when Drew was reviewing them, he pointed out and wanted to make sure you guys noted that Arrow's proposal included an additional 20 days of time for anticipated before and after construction, whereas CPJ's was specific for the amount of days that we had put in the RFP.
I saw that, but I did do the math, and and they did 49 days where Arrow did 50 plus the 20. So if you did another 21 days of the 1,120 for beyond contract dates, it's 23, that it's still, brings your total up to 102,200, which is still a lot less than Arrow.
Yeah, I didn't do it the way Mary Lee did it. I just added a flat percentage and still way less.
You're comfortable with them?
They did the specs, they did a very thorough job. And it's kind of nice that you're picking the contractor, that's what you decide, that did the specs, because they know them backwards and forwards. Versus having to bring somebody on and, it's a learning curve, but whatever, it's just a little nicer. Especially with a project like this, where time is so important, and we're trying to make sure all these different pieces get handled in the appropriate spot.
Do we think it's necessary to someone be there earlier and start some pre-bid stuff, or we'll know that based on who wins the contract to do the actual?
We would know what the additional charges would be if we needed them, yes. And like with all of your contracts of these, especially with construction, always factor in a 10 or 15% contingency. I mean, it just when you have these big construction projects, there are unknowns that we don't know. So, something happens and we need them there a few days early so we can get the road done, probably be worth it to do that again. But, again, just from your budgeting standpoint, just keep that in the back of your mind. But again, the window where you're gonna have the full-time construction is when they're doing that Campus Drive from June to August. We're already working up there. We're actually, the house is coming down. They're gonna put the stormwater management pond in ahead. There's gonna be a lot of stuff happening up there. even though the actual road isn't gonna be closed down, because we just, we have to move the telephone poles, so all that's happening at the same time.
Do I have a motion for one or the other?
I'll make a motion that we approve the CPJ bid at $78,000. $680.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to accept the bid for CPJ for $78,680. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. Fiscal year 2027 real estate property tax rates, constant yield rate.
So the constant yield certification that we got was showing we would, in order to keep everything at the same amount, we would have to decrease the rate to 0.3385. It is currently 0.3591 as it has been for the last several years.
So the constant yield means you earn the exact same amount of real property revenues. So if you keep it at the same rate because people's assessments went up and new development, we think, you know what I mean? Mostly it's assessment increase. It gives us an additional $91,863.94 for the town's budget. The forecast is not guaranteed because there's, construction.
If you look at your constant yield, the major part of the increase is due to new construction, not assessments. And as you continue to build new homes, that's going to continue to happen.
Well, I always like to remember these comments on these things. And I understand different people might have different thoughts. But if you change the rate, you're just gaming the numbers. That's just how I see it. So I say just let the rate the way it is. Unless somebody gives me a good reason why not, you're allowed to disagree.
Oh, no, I feel for everybody. I know the older people
Well,
on
us too.
Social Security, yeah, don't be in that group. Are hurting. And our assessments do go up in this area because it's a wonderful place, wonderful town to live in.
I mean,
So.
our bills go up too.
I know, yes, exactly, but Townsville's are going up too, so.
So are you making a motion, Eric, for the constant yield, tax rate to be 0.3385?
No,
that's not what
the
he
other way
said.
around. I make the motion to leave it the same at 0.3591.
And I'll second that motion.
3591.
So keep the tax rate the same.
We've done this for the 8 years that I've been here and plus.
So
It's
we have,
been that rate for
we
a
have a
while.
motion and you did a second. We have a motion and a second to keep the constant yield rate tax at point.
No,
We're not doing the
keep
constant.
the tax rate.
Keep the
same,
tax
yeah.
rate at 3.359.
Yeah.
That's it.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. Thank you. Reappointment to the election board, Esther, I'd like to do all three of them together, if you don't mind. Esther Dean, Denny Hawkinsmith, and Russo,
Haseeb,
Haseeb,
Hez.
Haseeb,
Hez,
Hez Foster. I'd like to reappoint them for 4-year terms. Do I have a motion to do that?
Sure, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a second?
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. National Lights Festival request.
This is for the James Shaw wagon
Yes.
training that every year the park board budgets for a $500 contribution from our hotel rental tax funding. So they're asking for the same thing they do every year.
it goes towards their travel van.
I'll make a motion that we approve the $500 as in the past years.
And it was in the budget, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the park board's budget.
Park board, yes.
I will second.
Have a motion and a second to give them the $500. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Abstain. Motion carries. Consideration of financial support for the JFK Ultra Marathon.
So at our last meeting, Spice had come, she has run the JFK, and she's pretty involved in it, and she had found out that there was consideration of moving the start to Frederick County instead of Washington County. And there were a whole multitude of reasons why we would not want that to happen, so at, your direction, I had sent letters to town commissioners, to the Hagerstown CVB, and to the organization that runs the JFK. The county commissioners had responded with basically what I had said that night, that hotel rental tax funding is not intended to be a long-term solution. So they had to keep, they weren't really eligible to keep getting a large amount like they had been. The CVB responded and said that even though they already give an annual contribution, if the only reason that the JFK is being moved is because they're 30,000 short, which I thought it was 20,000.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah, I
15.
don't know how it all.
See, I thought it was 15 also.
Yeah, I thought it was, they
Randy
were
told me
asked for 20,
15.
we got 5, so it was 15, and now I can't get it.
Well, whatever it was, the CVB said if that was the only reason it was moving, they would be willing to cover half of that, and asked if we would be willing to, to split it and cover the other half to keep it here, but they did indicate that they didn't know that they would be able to do that every year because they already give a contribution. This would just kind of be an effort to keep it here. So, that's why it's on the agenda for you guys to discuss.
Is there any movement in the budget that we can do this?
They're talking about 15,000.
Yeah.
Well, it's either 7.5.
So does the
Well,
town really
yeah.
gain that much from it being?
We,
But do you want it to leave?
no.
I don't, but is there any guarantee if we give them money that they're not gonna leave anyhow?
Well, I think, first of all, this happened so quick. I think there needs to be a fix real quick. And then something needs to be looked about in the future. But I don't feel Boonesborough should have to pay this. It ends in
I think
Williamsport,
Williamsport,
and Hagerstown gets all the money from the rentals from,
I
know,
heard there might
hotels.
possibly be a private donor.
I feel like we ought to reach out to at least Williamsport,
Yeah.
since it ends there.
I got to
And
call out.
the city
Bill.
of Hagerstown.
Bill hasn't called me back yet. I got to call out. Bill.
I personally don't want to stress our budget trying to find 15,000 or 7,500, you know what I mean?
Please also keep in mind that we generally cap donations to $100.
Right, $100, as I think they might find that insulting.
Well, but I'm saying for the
Yeah,
other
that's
organizations
what I
that
mean,
apply to
yeah.
you guys, we only give them a maximum of 100.
Plus, don't they have to provide us financials and things? Don't we make, like, the fire company and wasn't there a whole rule? Didn't we write a rule?
Maybe for large things like that, but not for,
There was a rule
AAA
that
or
was
something.
going to ask us for contributions more than $100.
The way the article read in today's paper, it's like an ultimatum. Either give up the money or leave it anyway. I don't like somebody who tells me what I have to do.
I also feel that we might not necessarily have a whole story.
I agree.
I can share
I
something with
agree.
you if you'd like. It is on the topic. The EDC has been very much involved in this.
Yes, they sent a letter too, I'm sorry.
So they sent a letter, they're very concerned about it. There is a member of the EDC that runs this, and is very active in it. It's the communication from them. I won't share the name, but reads as follows. From what I understand, the lack of communication and response / acknowledgement from the county when the race staff reached out was what set this off. The funding is one thing that surely can be fixed and or adjusted. The lack of respect for such an impact of historic event was the nail often. And I just share that with you, so that's knowledge about the money. That's at the county level.
Is there a timeline for us to come up with something? I mean, to decide something or?
Well, I think
Yes.
Terry's like, it's kind of urgent because they've already started to take registration.
Well, yeah,
almost
and when
sold
you,
out.
when you
So,
register,
people need
it
to kind of
shows that
know.
you're, it's
Yeah.
in Boonesboro.
Yeah.
So it's false information they're giving out, first of all, because I'm sure people were already booking rooms.
And they're used to the race.
I don't see it moving this year. I just don't see it. I don't see it moving at all.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I did see on the Herald Mail Online that they did run an article. I don't know if it was run today or yesterday about it.
Today.
It was in today's paper.
And, you know, basically the same thing. Well, it might have to be moved, everything like that, but
They've been talking about it for years.
Well, we wouldn't have even known about it if Spice hadn't told us about it. So how
Right,
much
so no
effort
one
did
has
they
come to
take
us.
to acquire other funding? Did they just decide, well, if the county won't give us the money, we're gonna move? Or, you know, they didn't reach out to us and say,
Yeah.
we're thinking of moving, can you help? I mean,
That's what I say. I don't think it's.
well, and like you said too, they haven't even reached out to you now, you know, even after Spice has talked to us.
Well, she said she was speaking for Spindler. Spindler had her come in and talk, but, like I said, I can't see it moving.
I would be willing to, you know, cover, maybe find in our budget to cover the police salaries for the escort service that you guys do.
But you all only
That
go up to
morning,
South Mountain, right?
Yeah, it's the county and the state.
Yeah, we are,
Um,
we really good in town.
You go to the
To get to.
roundabout, then.
Yeah.
was that part of it? Does the county normally provide the services for free and now?
Oh, no, well, they,
No, they.
I can tell you the deputies make overtime in
Okay.
every intersection. It's a big one.
Yeah.
EMS, and they're gonna
See, the-
fly people out of.
Yeah, the county, it was my understanding the county's still gonna do EMS, but I think that the race always paid for the county police, you know what I mean? And so the money the county kind of gave back to pay for the police.
Did the county escort them up the mountain last year?
State police.
State police. So I'm hearing you just wanna table it?
I don't,
Or you get more information?
I don't think we have enough information to make a decision.
Well, I don't wanna give money and then they still move the
Right.
race to Frederick County and
I
have to
agree.
justify that to Boonesboro citizens that you gave money
No,
to race.
they would have to give it back.
You know what I mean?
And we can only give 100,
You know, there would have to be some kind of, you know, agreement.
so it's
that
not
they're
like.
gonna-
So can we reach out to the city of Hagerstown or Williamsport and ask them if
I
they?
guess I called Bill and left Bill a message to call me, and I haven't heard anything back.
Judging by the result and everything that was in the paper today and it's on Facebook, I'm sure everybody and their mother knows. There was like, when I left, there was like 190 comments on it. So I'm sure everybody knows.
Or are we the only ones though that sound like we care?
No, Williamsport.
I mean, if they're not bothered.
Williamsport's PO'd about it, Hagerstown PO'd about it, because all that hotel taxes, you know, the hotels and the restaurants and stuff are gonna go to crap. Because
We
of
just
it.
informally hosted. We're not even.
We're just a host.
No, I mean, this is where they start, and it's great for us, we want to have people in the town, but we haven't financially supported them in the past, they just had it. And so they're not asking us for anything, we're not giving them anything, but they're moving it, and for various reasons, whatever the reasons are. And I think what we've done so far is express our concern to the county itself, and citizens have, and the EDC has, and I don't think, you know, we don't have, money we never paid for it before. It's not us that are lacking the funds.
Yeah. Plus, they should never rely on the motel tax every year.
Table, let's
We don't
move
get
on.
anything. May I make one other comment?
Yes, sir.
So I'm not really familiar with that topic. I've heard what everyone said. My only concern is if we give them money whether it's 7,500, 15,000, whatever that is.
Yeah, they're gonna want
I
every.
do not want it to become an entitlement that they expect every year.
Correct.
You know, that's around the comment.
So that seems to be a problem.
Okay, moving on. BMUC recommendation for honorary naming of the new reservoir.
Yeah, so at the last BMUC meeting, our past chair, Shannon Berger, had sent in a request. We'd already talked about the dewatering press being named in honor of Ray Huffman, and they very much would like to see us name the new reservoir in honor of Stu Mullendorf. So I'll make a motion that we honor Stu Mullendorf for the reservoir because Ray Huffman's has already been approved by us.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to name the reservoir in honor of Stu Mullendorf. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
Just, we should probably mention that he was past mayor and he was chairman during, the beginning of this
Yeah.
project and essential help that we get.
I do have the light up here, and it's interesting, and it does mention that Stu was in past.
It's not just a random.
No, Stu's,
Yeah.
yeah, Stu's been involved with the town for years. Very much involved in this project.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries. Personnel manual updates.
So there are two updates that are being proposed in this revision. The first one was approved by the Personnel Committee in our, I think, January meeting?
Yeah.
January meeting, sorry. Just was waiting for more items to do in the revision. So the range for the range of pay for the superintendent of public works was less than the superintendent of water and wastewater. And after updating the job descriptions recently, I presented to the personnel committee that I felt that the ranges should be equal. And so that was approved and is included as one of the revisions. The other was for vacation leave. The maximum accumulation for vacation leave is 260 hours. So if you have more than 260 hours at the end of the fiscal year, when the new fiscal year starts, you will forfeit anything over the 260 because that's all you can roll over. And I kind of expected, and then talking to the personnel committee, I got the feeling that I was right, that it was just kind of assumed that that was also the maximum payout at separation, but it was never actually put in the manual. So that is the other revision, that in addition to only being able to accumulate 260 hours, when you retire or resign, you can cash out at your regular rate of pay up to 260 hours. So that is the other, it's just those two revisions this time. And the personnel committee approved that one in a meeting a week or two ago. All right.
So can we vote on them as one?
Well, it's just one revision to the personnel manual, so.
So I'll make a motion that we approve both of the manual updates that you just spoke about in our personnel.
Sure, I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to create our personnel as presented by Rachel. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carried. Review and approval of resolution 2006-1, support of HB 1142, establishing the task force to modernize county and municipal revenue sources.
So MML had reached out, they are lobbying to establish this task force because, in short, Maryland is one of only a couple states that does not see tax revenue from sales, and that was the main one. I'm not sure if there were other smaller ones. Tony can jump in if he knows more about it, but they just were asking for resolutions from each of the municipalities in the state in support of just establishing this so they can look at it and hopefully get us on par with other states as far as our revenue from sales.
Did everyone receive a copy of this?
Yeah.
It must be something worthwhile, or MML wouldn't sit this out, so it's very seldom you hear anything from them, other than when they, want to make changes, or suggest items like this change, resolution.
Sounds good to me. I read it.
Is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
We have a motion to, support the resolution 2601. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, the motion carries. Anything else come before the council? Hearing none, we'll go on to commission reports. Park Board, Ricky?
Okay. Meeting was called to order, but we didn't have enough people to make a quorum. So none of the votes, we didn't vote on anything. So unfinished business, internal work order for Old Time Christmas is finalized. That'll be taken care of next month. Schaefer Park Treasure Hunt update, that's next month as well. Certificates of appreciation finalized, that'll be next month as well. Tree board, Arbor Day update, park cleanup is April 26th from 1 to 4. Jeff will be getting a tree to plant. Tree City USA and growth awards have been approved. Disc golf, there has been no response from the January 12th email. Fishing Derby is May 2nd of this year. The update is children 2 years to 8 years register at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8:30. They fish from 8:30 to 9:30. Children 9 to 12 register at 9:30. They can fish from 10 to noon. If a family has children in two age groups, they can all fish at 10 o'clock at the slots. Fishing rods will be available for children who need them, and volunteers will be able to be available to clean the fish. So come on down to the Burrow Pond and enjoy yourself.
There's always fishing in the burrow.
You got George lined up?
Yeah, George is.
I'm doing the fishing.
We have $5, we have $5 gift cards left there from last year. And Verily will be purchasing more for this year. Donation letters will be going out to businesses to help with the gift cards. Wagon train update, the D&D ponies have been finalized. Laura will check with Post 10 Auxiliary about preparing food. Independence Day is July 3rd, rain date is July 5th. Update, vendors' applications are online, more information at the next meeting. New business, the budget. Few changes were made, the budget will be finalized in March meeting. Dog waste in the park. The problem has been discussed, but there is no easy solution. Possibly adding more bag stations, making sure they are emptied regularly and have information about the danger from dog waste at the park, at the park. Cleanup at the park cleanup in April, or suggestions. There will be more discussions at the next meeting. And that's it.
Thank you. So anybody got any questions for Rick?
I missed the date for this cleanup, the 25th or 6th?
6th.
6th.
April 26th.
Sunday, thank you.
2 o'clock?
1 to 4. 1 to 4.
1 to 4, I didn't have a date.
I had the date, not the time. Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Utilities, Tony.
Yes, sir. So BMUC last met on February the 18th. Reservoir, we didn't have any updates. Potomac Street test pitting, the results determined that the 4-inch water line runs from 111 to 230 Potomac Street. There's 26 water services located within that stretch. And of course, the recommendation that's being made is that we replace the water line from King Road to the square. And we've already talked about that a little bit earlier. Drew's going to work on getting some pricing. The Crestview high pressure bypass, all the submittals are complete. It's under review with Arrow, and weather permitting, the project should start sometime this month or next. Florida line, Camstrom pilot program with the 20 water meters. We are continuing to receive regular readings. The meters have been integrated into the billing system, and Yvette was supposed to be doing training on the new software in the month of February, sometime at the end of February. So I'm sure she's probably still in the middle of that, so we'll probably learn more about that later this month. Water sewer capacity study, we're going to be discussing that this month. New business, EDU allocation for the Boonesboro Ambulance Company was discussed. Based on the fixture calculation, they needed one more additional EDU. The BMUC did grant the additional EDU for the water, and they also discussed the fact that the ambulance company needs to purchase 2 sewer connections because they are currently not on the public sewer. They understood all that. We discussed the honorary naming of the dewatering press and the reservoir, which we just talked about earlier. Stu's name was put forward for the reservoir, and that was approved, and we're going to continue moving on with that. Systems report, Superintendent Shoemaker stated new chlorine analyzer was installed at the water pump house along with the pressure reducer valve. The new sewer pump install at Young Avenue needs to have a retrofit, and we talked about that earlier. This will allow the connection to be, and once the retrofit is done, it'll allow for the connection to be complete. Superintendent Shoemaker also advised that additional future updates will be needed there, and he'll bring that to the BMUC soon. He also stated that there was an exhaust fan inside the sewer plant that caught on fire. Fortunately, that our staff was there at the time, so no major damage occurred. The new fan's been installed already, and Pete's going to be looking into some future upgrades so that we get some type of alert so that we don't have a fire down there that goes unnoticed. And also a chlorine analyzer was installed there as well. Superintendent Huntsberry stated no sewer collections issues. Water distribution side mainly was just issues with frozen water meters. A lot of it was just due to the harsh freezing temperatures that we experienced. All the damaged meters have already been replaced, and we are good to go. BMUC meets again right here on March the 18th at 6 p.m. and all are.
Thank you, sir. Anybody got any questions of Tony? Hearing none. Planning, Eric?
Yes, sir. I'll try not to repeat what Drew already said. I'll just go over the agenda here. Concept plans for Battlefield Estates, that continues on. The request is to change from 48 single-story age restricted houses to 72 3-story townhouses, removing the age restriction. So the request and the change of the zoning is being discussed. We think that the town provided the owner of the land incorrect information in 2013 when the zoning was changed. So that discussion's ongoing. The developer did mention a couple of times, this is my editorial, he has mentioned a couple of times that if you don't allow him to do this, he won't be able, his profit margin is not what he'd like to see. Well, I'm sorry, our job is not to worry about his profit margin. So that's that. I mean, he has said that, with all due respect to him. Preliminary site plans, Ringland, that's still the farmhouse across from the Wise grocery store. They're proposing about a dozen homes in around that cul-de-sac. We've seen nothing official yet, but that's a proposal that will be coming. And I don't think Drew mentioned Dean North. That's just been discussed. The issue right now is a secondary access. There's really only one way in, one way out. So they need a secondary access. So that's been discussed. We talked about McDonald's, the ambulance company renovations. The site plan was approved. And I was in here today and I heard that they paid for one water or two sewer. So that money went in today. The comp plan, Drew did mention, but we've also got a new vision statement included with that comp plan. Right, Drew?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And that vision statement focused on keeping Boonesboro a small town.
Keeping Boonesboro the borough.
Better in the borough.
Small borough.
Better than-
Attorney. Poor attorney.
Under old business, Vermont and the floating zone text amendment. Now bear in mind, this text amendment would not only be for that particular developer, it would be for any other developer. We're really waiting on remarks from our attorney, which we haven't had yet. The chair of the commission did ask member Jackie Pyro to form a sub-task to collect and manage the comments of the commission for the text amendment. Mr. Possum, his attorney, were here, and my editorial on that, Mr. Poss said, I quote, "Everyone else has floating zones. I don't want to hear that either. I don't care what everybody else has, what everybody else does." That's my editorial on that, and everybody doesn't, because I've researched it a lot. That's about all there is for that. Vacancy on the planning commission. So Steve Jameson had stepped down some months ago, and that position had not been filled, if I have this all straight. Ken will straighten me out if I'm wrong. And at the end of March, Scott Shippey is stepping down. He's moving away, so that'll give us 2 vacancies on the planning commission. And Dave Parmley's term, not his term as chairman, but just his term on the commission, expired at the end of February. So I'd like to ask the mayor to reappoint him to the commission. However, that's done. Do we need a motion in a second, or do you just reappoint?
You needed a motion, a second, I need to make an appointment, is it for 4 years? Or for
5.
5.
I'd like to reappoint Dave Parmalee to the planning commission for another 5-year term.
So I'll make that motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same, abstained, motion carries.
Okay, under citizens' comments, one of my neighbors once again handed me a letter to read opposing the 72 townhouses on Orchard Drive. So that's 2 of my neighbors who unsolicited have brought me letters to read. So anyhow, that's going on. Commission member comments. I actually brought up what I brought up here before, that we had a person on the agenda speak for 90 minutes. So I've talked to Drew about that, and we're gonna try to negotiate time slots. Even if you're on the agenda, you get a time slot, and you don't go on for 90 minutes. And finally, I'm sure Ray will have a little more to say about this. There was the Mixer event on March the 5th, which Ray and I attended. And I will close with that, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Can I add one thing? I don't want to argue with you, but just so it's clear on the record that when Steve Jameson stepped down, the planning commission is unique in that the liaison is a voting member or can be a voting member. So when he stepped down, the planning commission was where it was supposed to be. Now that Scott Shippey stepping down, we have 1, but the planning commission had said that they wanted to add an alternate. So there is a place for an alternate, and then there is a regular position open as of, I think, March 24th.
Okay, and I'll just say to that, I believe that to be correct. I don't see how a commission can have an alternate if someone doesn't attend all the meetings. They can't just pop in for a meeting as an alternate.
Yeah, the expectation of the alternate, just like with the BZA, I mean,
Boonesboro Keys Award Board.
Scott Race, I think, is the guy who is the alternate, and he comes to the meetings and just will vote if someone's absent. So yes, the expectation would be that they're at all the meetings, they just don't get to vote unless somebody's missing.
That's right, and that's the same thing that I do with the Boonesboro Keysville Water Board. These 2 gentlemen are our voting members. One of them's not there. I'm always there anyway, so I didn't know that. So.
That is a good clarification, that the alternate's expected to be there.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, so to be clear, make sure I get this straight. We're missing an alternate, and when Scott leaves, we'll be missing a member.
Sorry, unless I'm remembering wrong.
Well,
I think that sounds right.
okay.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, I do. Back here behind the farmhouse, is that cemetery back there, is that on private property?
I had thought the cemetery was on part of what the team sold, Ricky. I'm not
Okay.
sure. I thought that's right.
That question was asked of me and I actually went out and drove out and checked it. There is a graveyard, it's not within the town boundaries.
Oh, okay.
It may be part of the farm, the original Ringley farm, and it's close to the property line, but it's not actually in the town.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't 100% sure.
And you said they're building houses back up in there. I thought, well,
That was one of
that might infringe on the cemetery.
Yeah,
the cemetery's not in town limits.
Okay.
okay. See, I thought that was out behind the grocery store, that cemetery.
No, it's on the back behind Blue Hill.
Okay.
I'm good.
EDC, right?
Yes, sir. Meeting was held on the 25th. They went over the budget and what they have left in the budget. They've gone to about half their budget. At this point, they're being diligent about keeping track of it, which is refreshing. As Eric said, we talked about the JFK, and the EDC has also fired off some letters of support for the JFK. We talked about that tonight. There was a commission mixer, as Eric said, and that was just on last Thursday. Very nice event. It was held at Vanish. They've got a nice little rack room there, where I guess they're gonna do their off-track betting. It's got about 30 TV sets in there. And they all have little fireplaces on, so it was very nice, had a bar. They had some food, and every commission is supposed to stand up and speak a little bit, and they started to do that. We did hear from the park board, we did hear from Boonesboro Environmental, and of course, Eric was up there and Jackie was up there, and they were talking about planning, and then it all went downhill. They basically assaulted Eric, I had to throw him over my shoulder and carry him out of there. Pretty much saved his life.
That might be a stretch.
A small stretch. Yeah, they were not, there was a lot of, that pretty much took up the whole meeting, and it was not really meant to do that. It was meant to talk about what all the commissions are doing. And obviously, when you talk about development or comp plan or verdant or say on these triple words, you're gonna hear about it. So we did hear some recommendations, but our communications. Eric, you wanna fill in what they were really concerned with?
Well, there were a couple of little things. I didn't make any notes about that, right?
Yeah.
One thing was, it was brought up about the website, could stand redesign. It was brought up about, we need to have an official Facebook page.
We have an official. We have the town's Facebook page. There are all these fringe pages that.
Well, I didn't argue with them. I'm just telling you what was going on. And I heard about a newsletter that people could sign up for. It would be monthly or quarterly based.
We do that.
We have a quarterly
newsletter. Are they living in a different town?
And I didn't argue with them. I was already finished arguing with them.
This happened to him at the meeting. See, it's him.
It probably is.
And how would they like the website redesigned?
There are many renounces.
Provide them in here that you can pick up the newsletter, and it's on the website.
It's what?
Not
Not user
Oh,
friendly.
yeah.
The EDC do not live
The website's not user
They missed the old town newspaper. They missed the Valley and Citizen.
Black. We always call it the
Well,
news.
they have, not having a Carol Mail and.
I'm not sure you believe it.
But it would have been great.
How much more
I'm
you
sorry
want?
you guys missed it. Eric and I did represent. We did take the blows for the rest of the county. So, that was the main concern of it. And it's
You want fancy books?
not atypical.
I would urge them to get a little bit of this.
Hey, guys, come to the meetings.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you all.
It knows gonna get that.
Really, I was trying to be very convinced about my report, but then I was asked about, well, what about the water? And what about the schools? And it was just people had not attended. any of the sessions. Mr. Foskey.
Right, same people asking the
Well,
same.
they better
questions.
start talking to the Annapolis because Annapolis is trying to take all those controls away from us.
And I'll say the meeting did get, Terry was the MC of the meeting and she kind of opened up with questions and be careful whenever you do that, you never know what's going to ask and it just kind of steamrolled. So actually Susan's the one who stood up and said, this is the EDC meeting. I have an accounting business owner. So I shut the whole thing down. So anyway, yeah, she did. She shut it all down.
Thank you, Ray. Anybody else have any questions of Ray?
Wow.
Gary, Environmental Commission.
We met on February the 11th. The stream cleanup is April 26th, 1 to 4. Swap and recycle is May the 9th at 9 a.m. And the curbside pickup is May the 16th. The community garden is extending their deadline, possibly to leave it open until it's full. Not much more. Oh, Spice always likes to tell us about the Appalachian Trail, so she gave us a quiz. And she said, the Appalachian Trail has been attempted 4,000 by 4,000 people and only 1,000 have made it. Maryland is about halfway through, 45%. And guess how many states it covers? Who knows?
It's 9.
15.
14.
14, I was gonna say 14.
Yeah, so she's gonna give us a quiz on every meeting on the trail. It's kind of interesting though.
Goes to me, where does it start at in the south? Georgia?
Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia.
Springer Mountain.
Spice is doing the questions.
And we meet Wednesday night. That's it.
Thank you, Gary. Anybody have any questions? Hearing none. Any other things for people?
I just want to remind everybody that this Sunday, March the 15th, is the steeple dedication at my church. All are welcome. If you can be there at 10:15 for the whole service, that's fine. If you want to show up fashionably late about 11:15, that's fine too. I did attend the Spikers event with the chief and Ray. That was a very worthwhile event to be involved with. Thanks for inviting us to that. And I'll just throw a plug in real quick here for the Flower and Garden Show at the college. That's this weekend, March the 14th and 15th. It's at the Arc, and this is one of the two largest fundraisers that the alumni that I'm a part of is our fundraiser. This is the golf tournament. So if you want to be out someplace on the weekend and be inside where it's comfortable, come on out to the Arc, Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Gary.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Same. Motion carried.